All right, welcome everyone. Sorry, there was some new technology, um, so I apologize for the delay. There are a few extra steps for jumping on today. Apologies again, and welcome to tonight's class. I'm Natalie. For those of you who might be new to class, good to have you for tonight's all levels flow uh, class. We're going to focus on on balancing from a few different kind of orientations tonight. And I've noticed in a bunch of my classes that balancing poses, especially with hip strengthening focus, tend to kind of be an area where a lot of people are really working on improving. So kind of focusing on core stability and strength through the hips in today's balancing focus class. There'll also be some kind of balancing exercises thrown into class, some good ankle stabilization. And so if you notice that a particular exercise is maybe extra challenging for you, it's a good one to kind of pull out of the sequence and perhaps kind of add in to your routine. Okay, so having said that, you're welcome to have a block or a strap if you'd like to use it. I will teach without props tonight. All right, let's go ahead and settle in. And we'll start with the feet as wide as the mat, knees together at center. Arms can be by your side, in goalpost, or even interlaced behind your head to really open up across the chest, pectorals. And as you transition from your day to your mat, just noticing how your body is feeling, noticing any places of tension and tightness, and where you may feel more open, more of a release, and starting to send your focus to your breath, and taking nice long inhales, and equally as long exhales. And as you inhale, feeling your belly rise, rib cage expand, and the chest draw up. Pausing at the top and letting the exhale begin in your belly, ribs, and chest. And 2 more full rounds of breath, just like that. Inhaling, belly rises, rib cage expands, and chest draws up. Pause at the top. And let the exhale begin in the belly, ribs, and chest. Right, inhaling, just feeling that expanse within. And on exhale, that contraction, that release back to center. And noticing any thoughts that may be coming into your mind. Acknowledging those thoughts as valid. And just see if you can let them go, knowing that you can return to them after practice. And let's take another full inhale and exhale here. Now, without doing much, you can keep your arms in whatever orientation they're in. You're just gently letting the eyes flutter open, and just moving through a few rounds of windshield. Knees move to one side, to center, and then to the other. It's an inhale, center, and exhale to release. You're kind of moving at your own breath count. Inhaling through center. And exhaling to release. Let's go one more time each direction, each side. And on the inhale, come back to center. Keep this wide stance with the feet. And then on the exhale, releasing the arms down by your side, palms face down. So we're going to take a wide-legged glute bridge. Right, so getting to the side glutes a bit more, outer hips. So feet are quite wide, toes are angled slightly out. Now on your inhale, lift the hips. You'll probably feel a sensation more through the sides of your glutes. Pause here, and then take just little pulses out with the thighs. Right, for 10. Little pulse, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take another inhale. And on the exhale, gently lower all the way down. Once you've lowered down, draw the left knee towards the left shoulder, right knee towards the right. Pause here for a moment. Nice stretch through the inner thighs. And then we'll take our infinity sign sacrum circles. So drawing the knees together, away from the body, out, around, together. 2 more like that. Away, around, back, together. Pause, and then we'll switch directions. So now knees hug in, away from the body, around, together. 2 more like that. And then let's come back to center, stacking knees over ankles. Right? And we'll flex the feet. Kind of imagine that your legs are glued together like one unit. Reaching the arms overhead, shoulder blades are squared to the, or shoulder blades are down on the mat. Right? On the inhale, try to tap the thumbs behind you. Keep that core rooted down. Exhale, lift the arms. Inhale, tap the heels. Exhale, lift. We'll do 5 each way. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last 3 with the arms. 3 with the legs, right? So maybe the heels don't tap all the way down. That's okay too. Right, lower back is rooted down because your core is super active. And the last one with the hands. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We'll take an inhale, and then on the exhale, hug the knees into the chest. Let's take a kind of a more traditional roll up today. Chin is staying tucked into your chest as you roll up and down the length of your spine. Making your way into a comfortable seated posture on your mat. And let's take 3 big shoulder circles here, really focusing on that circular action. And so the shoulders are going to rotate forward, up, back and down, forward, up, back and down. 1 more just like that. Forward, up, back, and down. We'll place the right palm down on the mat. Left arm up and over, getting that nice length through the left side body. And then on the inhale, we'll let the left arm sweep in front, planting the palm. Exhale, really rotate the chest open, right arm sweeps. Kind of get this little bounce through the left elbow as you inhale, kind of pop up. Exhale, right palm plants, left arm up and over again. Chest is nice and broad. And on the inhale, left arm sweeps, planting the palm. Exhale, rotating the chest open. Let's go 1 more time each side. Kind of inhale, pop up. Exhale, right hand plants, left arm up and over. And on the inhale, left hand sweeps, planting the palm. And exhale, right arm follows. Keeping the left palm down, we'll take an inhale and exhale, releasing your right hand onto the mat. And coming onto all 10 fingertips, right? Just tucking the chin towards your chest. Maybe staying just like that, or tracing that smile across your chest. And coming back to center and lifting your chin off your chest. And we'll make our way to table. And so perhaps that means rolling over your ankles. You're maybe shifting your weight to one side as you find yourself in table. And let's extend the right leg long, flexing the foot. And just take a few little pulses back. You're kind of getting to the Achilles heel and the calf. You're keeping a micro bend in your elbows so you're not locking your joint. And then shift forward, kind of back to your table. Lift the right leg, pointing your toes. Lift the left arm, thumb face up, kind of balancing here. And then maybe taking little pulses up for 8, 7, 6, 5. Really control. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause lifted. Take an inhale. Exhale, left hand plants. Right knee meets your left, coming to table. 5 rounds of cow-cat. Inhale, tailbone lift, shoulder blades drop towards each other, gaze forward. And then on the exhale, doming your back, chin tucks into your chest. And inhaling to cow, spinal extension. And exhale to cat, spinal flexion. Moving through 3 more rounds at your own breath count. Inhaling and exhaling. Moving through 1 more. Inhale, cow, and exhale to cat. Coming back to your neutral spine. Second side, extend the left leg long, flex the foot, right? Take those little pulses back. And then let's shift forward. Lift the left leg, point the toes, lift the right arm, thumb face up, and just take those little pulses up for 10. Keep that micro bend, the left elbow, last 5, 4, working into the deltoid and your glute. 3, 2, 1, take an inhale. Exhale, return the right hand, left knee to table. Big toes touch, knees match with distance, hips to heels, wide-legged child's pose, perhaps taking praying mantis, palms touch, elbows bend, hands behind your head. Shifting your weight back and down. Taking another round of breath. And then gently place your palms back on the mat. On the inhale, toes tuck under. And exhale, hips up and back to downward facing dog. Right, just taking a moment, settling into down dog. Maybe you're pedaling out your heels, lifting the feet, lowering them back down. Just taking any movement that allows your body to settle into stillness in your downward facing dog. And as you settle into down dog, you're kind of shifting the weight from the wrist to the shoulders up to the hips and down to your heels, letting the heels be heavy. And taking 1 more full inhale and exhale. And from your down dog, keeping your gaze at your thighs as you inhale. On the exhale, walking your hands to meet your feet, forward fold at the back of the mat. And let's take a nice deep bend in the knees, chin tucks into the chest, doming your back, and control that roll up to Tadasana at the back of your mat. Really kind of focusing in on your Tadasana today, right? And so we'll root into the big toe mounds, the baby toe mounds, and then see if you can lower the middle 3 toes down, right? So maybe you feel the arches of your feet engage more. And see if you can lift the kneecaps, engaging the quads, right? Imagine like you're squeezing a towel out through the core, right? Glutes are active. Kind of feeling muscles start to engage up the front side, back side, right? Adductor muscles, inner thigh muscles kind of hug in. Shoulders forward, up, back, and down. And then palms are open. Kind of imagine the back of your hands pressing on like a trampoline, right? Perhaps closing your eyes. And just feeling full, balanced muscular engagement. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed. As you inhale, arms rise, palms touch overhead. And then on the exhale, hands to heart center. And pausing here. And taking this moment to set your intention for practice. And something to return to through class. Maybe something to take off the mat and into the week with you. Gently fluttering the eyes opened if they closed. And we'll place the hands on the hips. And we'll just do a high knee walk. So engaging the core and the hip flexors here. Okay, so we're gonna lift the right knee up, flexing the foot, and then control that lower down. And the left knee zips up, flexing the foot as you inhale. And exhale, control the lower. You're kind of going half speed here, trying to keep the spine nice and straight, so trying not to arch too much. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Last one, finishing on the opposite leg then you started. Taking inhale, exhale, lowering to Tadasana at the top of the mat. Okay, let's take a few leg lifts, continuing to work into the right hip flexor here. So we're going to point the right toes. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, tap. Try to keep the spine nice and straight. Engage the core instead of leaning back. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, tap. Inhale, right leg lifts. And then bend the right knee, flex the foot, and control your step back to your high lunge. Let's bring the thumbs to touch overhead, and as you inhale, kind of pull down like an imaginary bar behind your head. And then exhale, hinge at the left hip as you lean forward. And let's take an inhale. On the exhale, hands frame your left foot. Inhale, left foot meets the right. And then exhale, pause here. And so maybe you stay in your traditional plank. Maybe this time you lift the right leg, hover there for a moment, see where your weight shifts. Lower the right foot, lift the left, and again, see where your weight shifts. And lower the foot. All right, let's take an inhale, shift forward. And so when you exhale, you've lowered in front of the knees, untuck the toes, right ankle over the left. Really control that lower down. And then once you've lowered down, bringing the tops of your feet onto the mat, hands will be under the shoulders, and we'll move through progressive baby cobras. So really press the tops of the feet down, glutes are active. Inhale, shoulders, neck, and head lift. And exhale, lower. If that felt okay, walk your hands back another inch. Inhaling. And exhale, lower. If that still felt okay through the spine, you're engaging your core, so you're not dumping all your weight to the lower back. You can walk your hands back one more inch, but really draw shoulder blades towards each other as you inhale. Rising up, micro bend the elbows so you're not locking your joints. And exhale, lower back down. Let's tuck the toes under as you inhale. Press back through your puppy pose. Right, and let's get an extra stretch through the forearms and wrists. So as you exhale, flex your hands off the mat. So it's like the inner wrists are pressing down. And notice kind of how far your hands are flexing off the floor here. And as you kind of shift towards table, see if you can keep your hands at that same like flexion, really working into the forearms. And then you can send your hips back. Maybe doing that a couple more times. And sending the tailbone back. And planting your palms, we'll take an inhale. And on the exhale, hips up and back to downward facing dog. Let's take an inhale. On the exhale, hands walk to meet your feet at the back of your mat. All right, let's take a nice deep bend in the knees, chin to the chest, dome the back, and control the roll up. All right, from here, let's come to the tiptoes. Right, kind of engage the core again, zip up to center. This is really good strengthening work for your ankles. Notice if they kind of fall out like mine just did. And just start walking to the top of the mat. This feels really easy. Imagine like you're walking on a balance beam, putting one foot in front of the other. And coming to the top of the mat, right, maybe choosing to walk back. And then coming back up one more time, right? So really zip the core in. Nice ankle stability work, coming to the top of the mat. And then slowly lower your heels down. Really nice. Okay, 3 on the 3 leg lifts, second side. Again, zip up, try not to arch back. Pointing the left toes, inhale, leg lifts. Control the tap down hip flexors working. Inhale, exhale. This time on the inhale, left leg lifts. Hug the left knee in, flex the foot, micro bend in the right knee, and control that step back. Thumbs touch overhead. Inhale, pull down an imaginary bar behind your shoulders. And this time on the exhale, perhaps interlacing your hands behind the back or hooking your thumbs as you take that hip hinge, really letting the outer right hip stabilize. Your abductor, AB. Take another inhale. On the exhale, release the hands, frame your right foot. Inhale, right foot steps back to meet the left, and then exhale, pause here. Right, so you can stay in your traditional plank, or this time, really engage the core. Maybe let the left hand hover off the mat, and then place it back down. Keep a micro bend in the elbow of the hand that's not lifting. So micro bend left hand, lift the right hand lift, and then lower back down. Inhale, shift slightly forward, and then exhale, lower in front of the knees, untuck the toes, left ankle over the right, and then control that lower down, releasing tops of the feet. Okay, so we're gonna work on a side body balancing exercise. Okay, so from here, you're just gonna kind of place the right forearm at the top of the mat. So the right fingertips are facing the left palm is under the left shoulder, and you're rolling over the outer left hip. Okay. And then from here, you can either let your right hand kind of support your head as you let the left arm go long, and you'll start to feel the wobbles, or the right arm can go long. It's a little more challenging with the right arm long. Notice how much the body kind of wants to roll forwards or backwards, and your obliques are helping to hold you up here. Perhaps you notice if you hold an extra moment or two, you really start to feel the wobbles a bit. And then let's place the left palm back on the mat. Bring the right forearm so it's parallel to the top of the mat. You use the core in the left hand as your brake as you come onto your stomach. And then just place the left forearm in front of the right. Pause for a moment, let the forehead rest, bend the knees, and kind of just sway side to side. And then letting the legs go, lifting the head. Left forearm stays at the top. right hand under the right shoulder, roll over the outer edge of the left hip. Then either using the left hand to support your head or extend it long. And then you can always keep the right hand down as a break if you'd like. Otherwise, the right hand comes on top of the outer right thigh. And just noticing if the wobbles start to occur. And taking another round of breath. And then let's place the right palm back on the mat. Kind of lift up, left forearm back on the mat as you roll to your stomach. Let's place the left hand under the left shoulder, toes tucked under, and pressing back through puppy pose as you inhale. Exhale, hips up, and back to downward facing dog. Right, chest is drawing back towards your thighs. Taking another inhale and exhale. And keeping your gaze at your thighs as you walk your feet to meet your hands once more at the back of your mat, coming to forward fold at the back. The option to take any of the forward folds we've already done, or maybe this time you're bringing the palms of your hands under the soles of your feet. Right toes are right in line at your wrist crease. And you might notice here, if you rock forward, it almost feels like you're kind of in a rocking chair. And so the core activates just a little bit as you get this nice stretch as well. Taking another round of breath and releasing your hands from under your wrists. Deep bend in the knees, chin to the chest, dome the back. Control that roll up to Tadasana. Okay, so we did that toe walk the first time. We're going to do the heel walk this time. This is especially good exercise if you're a runner or if your Achilles heel tends to be quite tight. Right, so notice how much of your foot you can lift off the mat when you're on your tiptoes. And see how much of your foot you can flex off the mat when you're on your heels. And keep that bend in the knees so you're not locking your knee joints. And the core probably has to engage a bit more as you do this heel walk to the top of the mat. And then back. Right, notice how the core has to really engage or else momentum kind of keeps you moving backwards. And then coming to the top of your mat and lowering your feet down. Really nice. Okay, from here, on the inhale, let's lift the right knee, kind of about 90 degrees. And the exhale, pause. Notice even just lifting the foot, right? You kind of feel the weight shift to the left, engage the core, maybe coming back to center a little bit more. Ooh, inhale, external hip rotation. Exhale, squeeze to center. 2 more like that. Inhale, external hip rotation. Then squeeze your heel towards your seat. Keep flexing your foot, kind of like you're moving through a half moon pose, soft landing to your warrior 2. And let's take an inhale. And then on the exhale, take your pinky fingers, press them back. Really feel the chest broaden here. Inhale, exhale, side angle, right arm up and overhead, like you're high-fiving someone with the left palm. Right, so your right obliques are really working to stabilize. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, reverse, like you're high-fiving someone with the right hand. We'll move through that 2 more times. Inhale, Exhale, pause, reverse warrior. We'll take an inhale. And then on the exhale, release that into triangle. Really rotating the chest open. Taking another round of breath. And then we'll bend into the left knee, right palm plant, left palm plants, right arm up and over. And then pivot to the ball of your right foot. And then perhaps heel toeing the left foot a bit wider. Maybe you're taking a few pulses in your lifted lizard for a moment. And then shifting forward, lower in front of the right knee. Tuck right toes. Nice deep stretch through the hip flexors and the quad. We've worked there quite a bit today. And so option to stay just like this. Or maybe you're pressing to the right hand, big shoulder circle with the left arm. And then maybe you lift the right foot, catching it, or the right knee, bending at the knee to catch the foot, rotating the chest open. We'll take an inhale. And then on the exhale, gently lower the right foot down. Left arm circle up and overhead. Right toes are tucked under. Inhale, right knee lifts. And then on the exhale, see if you can pick the left foot up, hover, feel the core activate, and then left foot steps back to meet your right, making your way through your vinyasa, right? Taking what you need. Maybe it's chaturanga, up dog, down dog. You're kind of taking whatever transition will allow you to come back, kind of feeling ready for the next pass through. Taking 3 long rounds of breath to recalibrate. One more full inhale and exhale. Making your way back to down dog if you took any other pose. And then on the inhale, gazes forward. And on your exhale, stepping or floating feet to meet your hands, forward fold at the top of your mat. Let's take an inhale. Then on the exhale, bending into the knees, bringing hands to heart center as you exhale into chair pose, lifting the chest, weight is back in the heels. And then kind of shift the weight to the right foot, lift the left foot to hover off the mat. Notice how much the quad is working on the right leg to stabilize. And then lower the left foot back down. And shift the weight so far into the left foot, lift the right foot to hover off the mat. And then lower it back down. Let's take an inhale, exhale, standing in Tadasana. Really nice. Okay, on the inhale, let's hug the left knee in. Exhale, pause, or kind of get situated. Hips stay. The left hip wants to hike. Try to keep them squared. Inhale, external hip rotation. Exhale, squeeze to center. Inhaling. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, external hip rotation. Squeeze your heel towards your seat. Micro bend in the right knee as you kind of take a slow motion past moon. The right quad is really active as you come to your warrior two. Inhale, shoulders towards the ears. Exhale, relax them down. And let's take an inhale. Exhale, side angle, right palm high five someone. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Moving through that 2 more times. Inhale, hold, and then exhale, release, triangle, keeping that micro bend in your right knee, shoulder blades draw together, imagining the whole backside body is flat on the wall behind you. Let's take another inhale. As you exhale, bend the right knee, right palm plants. Inhale, left arm up and over, and then exhale, pivot to the right foot. And you can heel to the right foot wider, maybe shifting forward and backward, kind of massaging that hip a bit. And then as you shift forward, lowering in front of the left knee, untucking left toes, right? Just pausing here for a moment. You might notice if you engage your left glute, you can work a little bit deeper into the hip flexor and quad, like get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Option to stay here, or press into that left palm, keep that micro bend in the elbow, right arm reaches up and overhead, maybe catching your left foot as you rotate the chest open. Taking another round of breath, and releasing your left foot, left toes tuck under, right arm up and overhead. Hands are on the mat, left toes tuck under, left knee lifts, and engage the core, micro bend the elbow. See if you can let the right foot hover off the mat, and then step it back. Make your way through your vinyasa. Right? As you know, I like to say, vinyasa just means flow. Really taking what feels appropriate in your body, what feels good. Recalibrating your breath, letting the inhales and exhales be equal in length. Let's take one more inhale, one more exhale. From downward facing dog, inhale, gazes forward. And then on the exhale, stepping or floating, feet to meet your hands, coming to forward fold at the top of your mat. From here, let's get an active hamstring stretch. So we'll rotate shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Spine is straight and legs are straight without the knees locking, right? Kind of tap the toes and lift. Try to tap the toes. And then lift. This is also a bit of a strengthening exercise for the lower back. Taking a couple more like that. And then let's take a nice deep bend in the knees, releasing that tension, chin to the chest, doming your back, and control the roll up to Tadasana. Okay, from here, let's hug the right knee into your chest, hands interlace around the right shin, and engage your left glute. So now it's more like the left glute working with your core to help with balance as you take this back bend. Again, another nice stretch, hip flexor and quad. Left glute is super active. And then come back to a neutral spine and interlace your hands around your right hamstring muscles and extend the right leg, flex your foot. So this is kind of a variation of extended hand to foot pose, perhaps feels a little bit more supported. And it's less about your hamstring flexibility in the right leg, right? And it's more about hip flexor strength. And the left knee has a bit of a bounce. The quad is working. So there's a different way of working into it. And then see if you can keep the leg exactly where it is. Release your hands. Spine is nice and tall. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower. Right foot to meet your left. Standing locust pose as we transition. Shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Either hooking thumbs or interlacing the hands. And then lift the elbows, squeeze them towards each other. Lift, squeeze. And then extend the arms, engaging your glutes as you open the front side body. Taking another round of breath. And then coming back to your neutral spine and releasing your hands. Okay, same thing, second side. So as we shift the weight to the right, Try not to lock the knees, right? Then your quad and your outer hip are helping to stabilize. You have a little bit more of that bounce, right? And your muscles are doing the work instead of your joints. So let's hug the left knee in, hands interlace around the left shin as you engage your right glute. Ooh, you might lose your balance like I just did. Nice arch through the spine. And then gently come back to neutral spine. Hands interlace around the left hamstring muscles and extend the left leg, flex the foot. So the left hip is going to want to really hike here. Try to keep the hips even. And then see if you can keep your leg exactly where it is. Bring the palms together at heart center. Spine is nice and tall. Core is active. Hip flexors working. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot meets your right. Really nice. Let's kind of let that go. Inhale. Arms rise. And on the exhale, hinging and folding forward. And let's heel toe the feet to about mat width distance, maybe slightly wider. And swaying side to side. Getting that nice release. Arms can sway too, kind of letting it feel big, fluid. And then let's come back to center, heel toeing your feet to about hips width distance. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant the palms. And let's step it back to downward facing dog. And on the inhale, right foot steps back. Exhale, left foot meets your right. Downward facing dog. And 3 full rounds of open mouth exhales. See what you can let go of each time. Gently releasing to your wide-legged child's pose, hips to heels. And let's place the palms face up, getting a nice external rotation of the shoulders. And pausing here, reminding yourself of the intention that you set at the beginning of practice. And thanking yourself for showing up and for taking this time for you. And let's place the palms face down on the mat. And then walking your hands to meet your knees. And bringing the knees to touch. And then just shifting your weight to one side and swinging the legs around. Okay, so we'll take deer pose to get that nice opening through the hip flexor and quad. Right knee bends, the ankle stacks just below the knee. Left foot inside your right thigh. And then bring the right hand to the right hip, engaging your glute, right hip towards the left knee. And on the inhale, arms rise. And on the exhale, twisting over to the left. Gazing over the left shoulder. Option to stay here. If you'd like to incorporate a neck stretch, bringing your head back to center, right ear towards the right shoulder. The option to stay here or tuck your chin towards the left shoulder. And then lifting your gaze and bringing your gaze back to the front, walking the hands forward, right hand to the right thigh, kind of picking the right leg up, loosely crossing right ankle in front of the left. Sits bones are rooting down, as you walk your hands forward. The option to stay here or for a side body stretch, walk the hands up and over to about 10 o'clock. Imagine that your right hip is moving back in space and really kind of puff out through the right side body. And then gently walking the hands back to center and walking the hands in. And let's take butterfly and soles of the feet together. And perhaps you're peeling the feet open, kind of like you're reading a book, sitting up nice and tall. You can keep your spine as straight, maybe you're hinging slightly at the hips. Taking another round of breath. Lifting up. And then we'll take deer pose second side. So the left knee bends, ankle stacks under the knee, sole of the right foot inside your left thigh, left hand to the left hip, engage the glute as you draw the left hip towards the right knee. Inhale, arms rise. And then on the exhale, twist over to the right. And the option to stay here or for the next stretch, gazes back to the front, left ear towards the left shoulder. And the option to stay here or tucking your chin towards the right shoulder. And lifting the gaze. And gaze is forward as you walk the hands forward. Left hand kind of holds the left thigh, left ankle loosely in front of the right. Oyster pose, second side. Tailbone stays rooted down as you walk the hands forward. If you'd like that side body stretch, walking the hands up and over to the right. Kind of imagine the left hip moving back in space as you arch through the left side body. And we'll walk the hands back to center. And then walking the hands in to meet your feet. Let's come to the top half of the mat. We'll come to yin butterfly, so open diamond shape, and bringing your wrists under your ankles. Right, deep sacrum in the spine, chin tucks into the chest as you arch up and over, and imaginary feet fall. relaxing the muscles in your face. Gently releasing wrists from under your ankles as you roll up. Using the hands to draw the knees together. Soles of the feet are down. Arms extend long, deep C curve in your spine. As you lower down. And then once you've lowered down, let's draw both knees into the chest. And then we'll take legs up the wall. Maybe you're rolling ankles, pointing and flexing feet. Maybe you're kind of like kneading the ceiling, getting an extra stretch through the calves, hamstrings, Achilles, without locking the knees there though. And then coming back to center, we'll hug our knees into the chest and bringing the arms to goal post. On the inhale, hip shift to the right. Exhale, knees to the left. And as you gaze over the right shoulder, just letting everything melt down. Bringing your gaze back towards the ceiling. And the right leg lifts and then the left. Spine resets to neutral. And on the inhale, hip shift to the left. Exhale, knees to the right. Gazing over the left shoulder. Gazing back towards the ceiling, left leg lifts, then the right. Letting the spine reset to neutral first. And then gently using your hands to draw the knees into your chest. As you prepare for Shavasana, on the inhale, shoulders, neck, and head lift off the mat, forehead to the knees. And exhale, letting everything go. And taking up as much space as possible on your mat. As you inhale, just feeling that expanse across the front side body. Exhale, the release across the back side body. And slowly starting to come back into this space. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes. Rolling wrists and ankles. Maybe reaching your arms overhead Giving yourself a full body stretch. And you're welcome to keep your eyes closed for the rest of practice as you make your way into a comfortable seated posture on the mat. And shoulders rotate forward, up, back, and down. And spine is long, chest broad. And we'll place the palms together at heart center. And calling into your mind a quality about yourself that you really value. And completing this sentence and saying it to yourself 3 times. I am. And together, we'll seal this practice with a full round of breath, letting it be an open mouth exhale to release. Thank you. Thanks so much, everyone. And I hope this was a lovely pause in your day. And I'll be pre-recording for next week, actually. So that will be all set for you to take. And I hope that you are having a good week. Take care, everyone.